always been a writer first, so to be in a place filled with writers is a very warm feeling for me. I love this festival. It's great.
How did you get into directing? What made you do that?
Oh wow, it's kind of a long story, but essentially I was a Marine, and I remember I was a private, right? And this general called me to his office. I came to filmmaking in the Marine Corps as a combat filmmaker. So my first day on the job, I was a private, and his general calls me to the office, and I'm terrified. I get to his office, and it's Dr. Strangelove, literally a map of the world with his logo on it. And I'm like, what did I do? Am I in trouble? And he goes to me, he's like, hey, Bratton. This is my last name, because we don't call each other by the first name. He's like, hey, Bratton, I wrote a retirement script. Could you take a look at it and give me some notes? And I was like, why does he think I know what I'm talking about? And he's like, oh, because I'm a director in the Marine Corps. So maybe being a director is somebody that people listen to. So I just ran with it.
Are you in trouble?
Ma, I need my birth certificate. I need you to help me. I'm gonna be a Marine.
Marines. No, you ain't scared than two left shoes, and everybody can see it.
Elegance, why did you have to tell this story?
Oh wow, this story is my personal story. From the ages 16 to 25, I was homeless, kicked out of my house for being gay, and I really thought that I was worthless, and then I lucked out. I had a drill instructor in the Marine Corps who told me that I was valuable, that my life was important, because I had the ability to protect the Marine, not even the ability, the responsibility to protect the Marine to my left and my right. And that's why I made the story. This is, yes, it's based out of my true story, but what I realize is the autobiographical film is not necessarily about recollection, it's about meaning, right? What the things that I've been through, what do they mean? What have I learned from them? And I've learned that we are only as important as our ability to protect and serve one another, and that's why I made the film.
My mom, she won't even talk to me. Most of my friends are dead or in jail. If I die in this uniform, I'm a hero to somebody.
It's all in the writing. Elegance gave us such a great gift. The entire ensemble. We all have we had such incredible tools to work with. This character was expertly drawn and beautifully nuanced in a way that I'm always searching for as an actor. I'm always looking for characters that defy expectations, and certainly when I read the script, I was very moved by the story of French, but also really drawn to the character of Rosales that I got to play eventually. And Jeremy Pope, who plays French, I feel like made my job so easy. He's so present and so giving as an actor, and as a leading man in this film, he was so wonderful and such a wonderful scene partner. So I felt like I was equipped with all the best materials to deliver a performance.
How much training did you have to do?
So we had a wonderful Marine drill instructor who served alongside Elegance, our director in the Marines, and Althea Jones is her name. I have to give credit to her. She's a fierce Marine drill instructor, and she came on board and worked with Bokeem Woodbine and Nick Logan and myself. The three of us played the three drill instructors, and we shot in Jackson, Mississippi. We got there a couple weeks before we started shooting, and Althea was very accessible, but also, Elegance is also a former Marine, and we had access to so much expertise, which you don't oftentimes have in films.
60, 50, 40.
Are you now, or have you ever been a homosexual?
No, sir!
I will break you. I promise.
What was the hardest part for you of doing the directing for this, since it's such a personal story?
The hardest part, there's many parts. I love directing movies, so saying goodbye was hard. I always have a hard time saying goodbye, because we shot in Mississippi in the summer, and we were promised 23 days, but we had a COVID shutdown, so we had 19 days to shoot it, and it was just so incredibly hot. But that environment created a lot of camaraderie amongst myself and the crew and the cast, so the hardest part of doing it is stopping. I love directing.
And of course, confronting your relationship with your mother, which is central to this movie.
Yes.
Divorcing your personal feeling from your professional responsibility must be quite a chore.
Well, to be honest, this film is very much a milestone for me, but this is not the beginning of me dealing with the kind of the after effects of my mother and I's relationship. If anything, this film is a celebration of the triumph over adversity that I found. So if anything, it was actually quite healing for me to realize that I'd actually made peace with some of this stuff. Like, for instance, there's a scene in there where the mother explains to her son, like, I can't, love what you are, but I love you, My mother, I grew up hearing my mother tell me that, I should have left you in a shoebox. Why are you like this? You shouldn't even be here, right? And so to shoot this scene, I had to hear a lot of that stuff over and over again, except this time, sure, it hurt to go through, but this time I yelled, cut, it's a wrap. I got in my car, I went home, I ordered dinner, and everything was fine. And that's really what this film is all about. I'm trying to make something for people anyone who's ever been downtrodden, anyone who's ever been overlooked and underestimated. This film is to remind you of the power that you have inside, that being your authentic self has the potential to make the world better around you. So, sure, it was hard to go through, but I believe it was worth it, and I can't wait for audiences to check it out, and hopefully they find it worthwhile as well.